So here we are at the top of the hill. That building there, that's the Apple Air facility. So that is for measurements of air quality, for example. And then we've got that wind turbine that you see from campus up here on the hill. We've still got some bloodroot foliage and a seed pod on this one. These are the earliest spring bloomers out here, so they're actually already done for the year. A lot of the trees here are oaks. We've got the occasional rhododendron mixed in there. Now these things coming out of the ground there, those are actually parasitic plants. This is what used to be called squaw root. I think it now goes by American cancer root. And they live parasitically on the roots of the oak trees in this area. What you see coming up there is the inflorescence, basically the flowers. The rest of the plant is completely underground and connected to the roots of the trees. So these don't have any chlorophyll, they don't do any photosynthesis. They get all their nutrients from the trees that they're connected to. Now this plant is another nasty invasive. This is called garlic mustard. And yeah, it's edible, so feel free to pull it out and eat it. You can use it in salads or cook soup out of it or whatever. It's nasty because it actually puts chemicals into the soil that will prevent other plants from growing. So that's called allelopathy. We've talked about that in class. So that's a plant you do not want to have around in a nature preserve. It's not a native. So that is garlic mustard. Here we've got another sedge in bloom. Another one of those types of flowers that a lot of people will just walk by. This foliage right here, that's Canada Mayflowers coming up. As the name suggests, these bloom in May. They're also called false lily in the valley, because their leaves look very similar to lily in the valley leaves, but the flowers look quite different. Now the larger white flower here, that's a wood anemone. And just to add to the confusion about the flower colors, these are called common blue violets, even though their flowers are purple. Now that is some dwarf iris foliage coming up right there. So every now and then you see these wooden boards down here near the creek, And those are actually part of a salamander project. So they are meant to attract salamanders to hide underneath them. And then the researchers involved in the project can come out and check out the salamanders. Here we have a tulip tree bud just opening. These leaves have a very characteristic shape. These are already a little bit older. You can see they kind of look like someone cut the tip off. I believe that plant right there might be a jack-in-the-pulpit coming up. So we're starting to see quite a bit of trillium foliage. No flowers yet, but just in a couple of weeks they should be blooming. So here's a plant you might not necessarily expect out here in the shady woods, but that is a succulent. Usually we think of succulents as desert plants, but here they are right in the forest. They like to grow on boulders and other places where water runs off, so that might be an adaptation for that type of environment. So this is woodland stonecrop, and it's getting ready to bloom. Now that plant right there, that's a jack-in-the-pulpit coming up. You can see the trifoliate leaf and what will be the flower just about starting to unfurl. Now here we've got something that doesn't look like much right now. That's the foliage of an orchid. This is cranefly orchid, and it has these wintergreen leaves that then disappear eventually in late spring, early summer, before the orchid sends up the flowers. So if you want to see the flowers in the summer, you kind of need to remember where these leaves were in the winter, because they blend in pretty well with the environment. This plant, I believe, is white baneberry, or you might know it as doll's eyes, based on the white berries that it has in fall. You find a lot of lichens and mosses on these trees as well. And this one also has liverworts on it. So those structures right there, that's actually a liverwort. So the reddish brown stuff on this tree actually is something we've looked at in lab before. That is Frulania, a leafy liverwort.